I'm taking a lot of knowledge from Ak and like the way to do it, because like if you check my YouTube, there are interviews as well, you know, that I started doing. So like that is a thing as well. Definitely.
The fact that so many people outside the culture of Chicago, they hyped up the music, not knowing that real lives are being affected. How do you feel about that?
I wanted to slap you in your face, honestly. And I'm gonna tell you the truth. I really think you.
Let me tell you about yourself. You a satire. In my opinion, you're a guy. If this was all a high school, not with the guys like.
This is why I say this. I heard it. And this is the type of people y'all allow in this culture, that y'all allow to have a say in this, have a foot in this.
For many years, hip-hop journalism was simple. When it came to making a living in the media, all you had to be was objective and unbiased. But somewhere in the internet age, this value system went out the window. This meant that journalists who spoke on the culture often appeared in headlines. And more often than not, it came in the form of beef. Through making hip-hop news into digestible videos, DJ Akademiks tapped into a generation that wanted the story in the most efficient way possible. Along the way, Ak realized that the sensationalized tales of rappers' personal lives and feuds were a recipe for success. By this point, it can be assumed that if Ak isn't in a beef, there's one simmering in the background. And considering that he's best known for his unmediated takes, lengthy Hennessy-soaked rants, and his controversial affiliation with 6ix9ine, it's likely that this is by design. For Ak, any sort of beef with a rapper only serves to draw more eyes to his content. Due to him being his own boss, there's basically no downside to views and follows in whatever form they come. However, it's fair to say that Akademiks doesn't necessarily escape each encounter without a dent in his credibility and reputation. Here we're going to delve into Akademiks' many beefs as well as the controversy of his career. Early on, Akademiks was looking for his niche, and at one stage, he found a way to separate himself from the droves of other online news outlets by covering the streets of Chicago. Dubbed the War in Chirac, Akademiks had a channel that was devoted to covering the ongoing violence. At its height, the channel, which still has 328,000 subscribers despite not uploading for 4 years, was gaining views in the millions. But given that Akademiks had no ties to Chicago, there were those who saw his content as exploitative and allowed him to profit off death. Appearing on a June 2019 installment of Everyday Struggle, Chi-Town's Vic Mensa took it upon himself to confront Akademiks.
You really built a following off of clowning our deaths, people that I really know. And you know what's up about it and why I said the things I said to you is because were we to be in a room, there's no cameras, there's no security, you see us, you wouldn't make no jokes. You wouldn't make a single joke.
Naturally, these comments created quite the stir. And in subsequent interviews, Vic doubled down on his claims by suggesting that he'd wanted to beat the brakes off of Akademiks long before he had a TV show.
I planned to whip DJ Akademiks before he ever had a TV show.
Since then, Vic has fallen into obscurity. And
yeah, because he got done though.
Although he issued something of a statement at the time in the following episode of Everyday Struggle, it's clear that Ak doesn't feel any need to repent if the lyrics are little.
1 million views, we up next with Mensa upset. I was chilling on set, thoughts breaking their neck.
Ak's Trap American is anything to go by. In this instance, it's fair to say Akademiks won, as while he kept it moving, this became one of the final times that Vic entered the news cycle. As for Vic's comments, they didn't have the damaging effect on Ak's reputation that he'd intended. Instead, they set the tone for what other beefs have reinforced, and that's the fact that Ak's platform will never take a rapper's feelings into account. So, we're calling that 1-0 to Ak. In another incident from 2017, the ability for Ak's words to weigh heavy on a rapper's mind was made all too clear by Wale. During a visit to Ak's now infamous Complex show alongside Nadeska and Joe Budden, Wale committed the hip-hop cardinal sin of showing his hand and making it obvious that he was bothered by Ak's assessment of him, namely, that he was corny.
Now, Wale, I did mention, right, and you were mad at me over some where I said, people, right, the perception of you is that you might be corny. You thought that was me saying it to you. I'm just clarifying. I'm just clarifying that I didn't say that personally. Perception.
You're very sarcastic.
At times.
Luckily for you, the demographic in which that follows you, they don't peep the little slick. I can smell sarcasm on you. I can smell sarcasm in your posts. Somebody like you don't have no credentials to call me nothing like that.
With no apologies issued, it seems that this beef is unresolved. But if you consider how Wale suggested that he wasn't mad before clearly getting mad about Ak's disrespect, it's safe to say that it wasn't the YouTuber that was left with a blemish on his reputation. With that, honestly, another point for Livingston.
I feel like the rappers are just like soft at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like come on, like like it's the media, man. Leave like I
Too
ain't
long.
got shit to say.
So I
It's
want
the
to take a
media.
quick break to thank our friends at Skillshare and Craft.
Fuck Skillshare.
In fact, for sculpting the trial of and start your journey as rappers has put aside Glizzy and lines. Over the past couple of years, he's had run-ins with everyone from NLE Choppa to Shy Glizzy, and each time, his philosophy has remained the same. It all helps further his brand. After he received a very heated DM from Nicki Minaj, Ak calmly explained that feuding with an artist of that caliber would only do him good.
Now, this is signs of a downward spiral. Remember, she got at some journalist who criticized her, and eventually that journalist got fired. She got the right one. Like me, I like to keep it all the way public. This is how I came up, baby. Like, this is great. So she really just gave me content.
Across various beefs, Ak has maintained that their inability to ignore him proves his relevance, and in certain cases, even has greater relevance than them. When Nav suggests that Akademiks hop on and off dick so much he probably got STDs on Twitter, the streamer launched into a massive tirade in which he tore Nav down in every way he could.
Who the talks about Nav? Who? You got watched on your main single. You got watched by Meek. Like every other rapper, trying to get the conversation about yourself. We're not talking about you right now, Nav. Get a record. Don't ride Uzi coattail to another collab. Where's your record?
Whoa,
But by the
Lee.
end of it, it was the Canadian who was apologizing.
Honest to God, the source is it's me. I started it. I'm man enough to say that. Knew it instantly, like as soon as like went out. I'm like, yo, you know I'm tripping. You know?
Yeah, I think we said that's 3-0 to Ak so far. Through Nav's backtracking,
Ak don't lose,
we find
man.
issues that rappers have in terms
Ak is my guy, dog. Ak don't lose, bro.
with Akademiks. While they claim that they don't need him or that he's beneath them, it won't stop them from engaging because they know it'll make waves. Having picked up the baton for the idea that Ak's style of content is dangerous, Meek Mill routinely said that his platform is small and irrelevant, before advocating for its destruction and making an enemy during their infamous Clubhouse conversation. But in one tweet that followed their back and forth,
Make weird that he tweeted that he finally had my location, but he saw me on the Versus with 750K watching. Bro, I went to Complex for 3 years every morning at 7 a.m. Why you act like I was hiding from you? Stop it, dog. I hate you rappers. You know your other rapper ops location too. They do shows. Yes, Ak.
Ak proved why in Meek's case, employing all of the tough talk was a waste of time. Meek Mill tweeted that he
honestly, man, I don't feel like any rappers beefing with media. It got shit to say. It's like them niggas like Sila and J Dolo. Them niggas is trash, but they was mad because I said they was trash. I wanted to talk to the guy. Real cool, but you know, the guys was like talking to them, but like the guys, I don't know what, because I said that the shit was trash. They took it. They didn't want to talk to me, and they didn't want to fucking diss me to call me a bitch ass nigga because I tried to talk to them. Like nigga, your shit was trash. I was being nice because you were being like, cause you were nice in the DMs. You know, the man slid in my DMs and he was talking nice type shit. Now he actually went back and backpedaled and deleted some shit. But anyways, that's not here for now. Anyways, Ak, let's go.
finally had my location when he saw me on Versus with 750,000 watching, Ak remarked. Bro, I went to Complex for 3 years every morning at 7 a.m. Why you act like I was hiding from you? Stop it, dog. Only the rappers who are trying their best to look gangsta claim I'm not, or the ones who need an easy target. If I'm outside, I'm running a play, running up or furthering my brand. Don't need to be everywhere for validation. Like it or not, there are rappers, even ones that should be above it, that put a lot of stock into what Ak does. And for that, we have to give Ak another point here. Seeing as Meek's
The only battle Ak lost, and Ak calls it, is the Fred Gibbs round 1 back in the day. That's it.
attempts to blacklist him have been ineffective. 4-0. Quick to claim that I fall out with these rappers all the time, and whenever an album rolls around, usually change of heart happens. Ak has proven that in a lot of cases, a beef with a rapper can't harm him as long as it keeps his name out.
I've been to Sway house and he mad at me right now. He'll get over it eventually.
Meaning that as artists such as My Song proclaims he's a cancer, it's only working in his favor.
Wait, who's that guy? I have no idea who that guy is. He's an artist? He's good? Is he bad? I have no idea who he is. Who is he?
Other times, both Akademiks and the man that he's feuding with can find common ground and mutually agree to down tools. In the case with his feud with Casanova, his affiliation with 6ix9ine meant that the now incarcerated MC had some ill intentions for the YouTuber. And if
I mean, his 6ix9ine affiliation is a problem still.
in fact, he almost caught him slipping on several occasions. But after encountering him, the two managed to bury the hatchet.
He faked me out real quick. You know, like the big bully, and you're like, why would you do that to me? This, that, and the third. Yeah. And you're like, oh, okay, so let's go play. He just tricked me. I don't know. He got a good wordplay. If it didn't happen there, it would have never, like, we would have, yeah. Because I used to wait outside here
It was like 5 times in 1 month. I waited outside.
Since then, the two have benefited from one another, and in time, Ak even became the co-star of one of Cass's music videos. I hated trolls for so long. Guess that's why I made this song.
Not featuring the biggest troll Akademiks, but lately he's been behaving himself. Nah, that is though. It's funny. I really want to do some ugly
That's
things.
another wrote. Knock Knock video out now featuring the biggest troll.
Niggas was really hating on Ak, bro.
Akademiks.
Ak is up right now. Shout out to Ak.
Considering that they both made concessions and even poke fun at themselves, no points need to be awarded here. However, this isn't applicable to all of them, and throughout his career, there have been times when he's been outclassed by rappers who are a few notches above him in terms of respect from the culture. For starters, there's Nipsey Hussle, who, for many people, delivered the definitive statement on Ak.
He behind the camera, and you guys just let clowns be clowns, man. Like I was on Everyday Struggle, and I walked out. We used to up for trying to film fights. We ain't covering no drama. That's called instigating.
Even if Nip hadn't tragically passed away, the respect that he had basically ensured that there was no response from Ak. And although they exchanged words, he was notably more respectful in his response than he normally is. Here, we see a loss for Ak, 4-1. While in the case of his famed beef with Freddie Gibbs over issues about snitch culture, he simply didn't have the verbal or comedic ability to match Gangsta Gibbs. Clowned by Gibbs across social media and even a merch line.
Yeah, the memes was crazy. He really got Ak with the memes. I remember that. That was wild.
This was the most definitive loss that Akademiks was ever handed by a master troller. In fairness, Ak's audience and
Q had to shut you up with stats. Keep that little emotion to yourself. When you talk shit to artists who won't think about you, ignore that.
Freddie Gibbs are entirely different. But once you've been labeled a Teletubby, it's hard to come back from. Since then, Ak went on to make a rare concession to a defeat and admitted that his wit was no match for the razor-sharp Twitter fingers of Gibbs.
I had just moved into my crib, 8,000 square feet. So I'm like, yo, bro, I guarantee my crib bigger than your whole situation. So I'm like, yo, post your tax returns. I show the whole world how broke you rappers are and what's really going on. And he was just like, yo, listen, man, you look like this little Teletubby in this meme I'm gonna post. And then everyone was like, that's way funny. And I'm like,
although Ak acknowledged that he didn't come out on top in this one, Freddie has no inclination to loosen up the pressure on Ak after months of peace. Freddie opted to reignite the beef when he responded to Ak posting a fight between
I hope you post it when I run into you.
K Flock and Ron Suno at Rolling Loud by proclaiming, I hope you post it when I run into you. Amid Freddie's claims that he could have smoked Akademiks by now, the media figure went on the offensive once more by asking him to shut the up you ain't gonna do. With the beef revived, Freddie dedicated days to tearing Ak apart on Twitter in the way that only he can. Left scrambling to overcompensate when Freddie continues to win the internet's approval with an offhand comment, this beef may still be bubbling over.
Hey, it's not done yet.
But unless something really tips the scales, it looks like Freddie has this one in the bag. 4-2. In spite of how many he's rapped.
I mean, yo, Ak just dropped the Gangsta Gibbs episode and whatnot, and he talked shit on him or talked bare shit on Twitch. So I don't know, man.
It's safe to say that his tendency to engage
the shit he was talking on Twitch was on some shit. Exposed the man, so
in online warfare isn't exclusive to artists, and over the years, he's feuded with his fellow media figures too. To start with, Ak infamously engaged in a war of words with Dom Is Live, essentially demonstrating that Dom was envious of his reach in the process.
And I built my own base.
Stop lying, you've been lying to my fans the whole time. Dom, can I ask you a question? Do you think I sit back and be like, oh my God, I'm like worried about Dom? Just be honest.
Some people feel you are. I don't want to be you, bro.
I would believe you if you weren't obsessed, man.
Here we saw Ak score an early slam dunk on his opponent and set the tone for years to come. 5-2. Ever since, his success in comparison to others in media has been Ak's most powerful weapon when it comes to belittling the competition, even when sometimes he's punching above his weight. As a result, we've reached a situation where there isn't a major outlet where at least one member of the staff doesn't feel some type of way about Ak. Case in point, take a look at his years of back and forth with former The Joe Budden podcast hosts, Rory and Mal.
Ooh, that one's a good one.
Although Ak and Joe have had their run-ins,
Akademiks is one of the biggest I've ever seen in my entire life.
The two ultimately have a love for each other, but when it comes to his then co-hosts, there's never been any love lost whatsoever. Although there'd been subliminals and little jobs thrown back and forth, the battle lines were really drawn when Rory and Mal took issue with what they saw as Ak's hypocrisy when it came to covering XXXTentacion's life and death.
I'll be honest with you, I was a little disgusted at some of the media outlets and people that were saying rest in peace, and to the people that think I'm talking about academics, I am, but not just him. Don't do your coverage to instigate the and then say rest in peace when it finishes. It's offensive. Yeah. It's gross. It's an awful process. People die over it because of people in their basements setting a standard for popularity.
Right. These certain dudes that they are giving these platforms to, they're bozos. Like Akademiks is a bozo. He should not have a platform like he has, because when real life happens, he shows just how much of a bozo.
Okay, we're gonna say this one time. Ak is not a street guy. He's a pussy. Fair. Alright, cool. That's why Ak is a full-on civilian. Alright, that's fine. But Ak got the platform and he's shitting on you niggas, man.
He is.
Although it didn't happen immediately, Ak slowly but surely let Rory and Mal's comments fester in his head until eventually he felt the need to destroy them. And just as he did with Damon's life,
he did though. He did. He went, God, like he did. The only reason why Rory and Mal like back up is because like Joe Budden fucked up. To be honest, Joe Budden is the one that really fucked up.
He did his best to undermine them by claiming that they were simply employees and expose their salaries. When that was shrugged off, Ak sought to air Rory's dirty laundry and detailed the demise of his engagement.
So when I had to put my foot on that boy, okay, had his girl slapping him in the crib, okay, you feel me? I did that with a reason. He been getting beat up by his girl. I think she ran off with a wedding ring. It's over. Flawless victory. Hats off. Chat win. That bum will never mention my name again.
Although Rory and Mal have since moved on to greener pastures and taken ownership of their own.
Yeah, because Joe Budden fucked up. That's really why. If Joe Budden never went on like his shit talking episode, that probably wouldn't have happened like that.
Podcast. It's hard to argue that they put a similar dent in Akademiks or can match him in terms of revelations. So, for that, it's a rare instance in which he got to completely savor his victory lap. 6'2".
Where? $40,000 a year, man. Shut up. Nobody want to hear you talk about like you're really breaking down the break. Shut up. Joe could talk about it. Now it would make more sense because he was swindling them.
In other occasions where he's taken on a duo, the outcome has been less rosy for Ak. Namely when he went out of his way to feud with Deezus and Mero over being mentioned on the show. Initially, he took issue with their critique of everyday struggle's fate after Joe Budden's departure. Straight away, he made it clear that, just like many of their peers, he wasn't the one to play with.
Them stay taking shots at me, man. I don't really with him. I be seeing a lot of these media take shots at me. I don't really with them. Period.
Unbothered by his attempts to dismiss them, Deezus and Mero sought to put him in his place with everything from production values to claiming he was irrelevant.
This is a TV show. They've got lights. We're in the studio. You feel me? We got guests. You know what I mean?
This ain't dollar.
Nobody's talking about you. They're talking about the dumb that you do. You are not important, DJ Akademiks. You're named after velour suits from 2003. Stay in your lane.
I've been making more money than y'all before y'all even signed to y'all companies.
I'm in my mom's basement right now, in my gamer chair, and them don't know where I live at. That's why I'm talking wild spicy. You're talking spicy in 240p. Come on.
Seeing as they essentially operate in two completely different spaces, nobody takes a loss for this particular beef. But speaking of Ak taking issue,
but they're on some funny shit. There is some mirror. I don't know, man. I don't know. I tried watching that show on HBO and I was like,
with his name being in another media personality's mouth, look no further than his brief scuffle with Adam 22 of No Jumper. Despite the fact that he's made a career out of chronicling other people's business, August of last year saw the notoriously touchy Akademiks take issue with what he saw as Adam 22 meddling.
You call him August?
In his business. Brought to a head over a marathon 4-hour stream, Ak seemed to be unhinged throughout and made it more personal than it was in the process.
He wants to know, did they run a train on your baby mama? What up?
I mean, number one, whatever my girl has done in her private prior to me, not really my interest. So, I mean, I don't feel any need to speculate about this at all.
You clown me just supposedly for being there while 6'9" Selena, and Selena was never my girl.
I didn't clown you. I laughed at the scenario she was describing, and I still feel like I'm within my right to laugh at the idea of you passing 6'9", which is again what she said.
You sneak this me. You wouldn't want me to do the same thing to you because it would be bad for business.
More of a verbal scuffle than an actual beef. This is the situation in which Ak's paranoia got the best of him, and the beef fizzled out before it could truly begin. But since then, Ak, somewhat uncharacteristic.
Yeah, that was alright. That was game over. that Act is funny though. They're about to train on your girl.
Has conceded that him losing his cool and exposing his own insecurities has meant that Adam would always emerge victorious.
Yo, I'm so frustrated, especially with Adam. Adam's one of like the interesting, I want to call it beef, but like situations I've had because I'm getting at him and he's killing me with kindness.
With that admission, that's a point for Adam. 6'3". On the other hand, there's still parts of the media that find Act's presence to be deeply troubling. Kicking into overdrive in 2020, Hot 97's Ebro and Rosenberg have constantly disputed Act's credibility and even called his revenue streams into question. While in response, Act has strongly implied that the hate is pure jealousy.
The Ebros and the Rosenbergs hate my position in the culture because Ebro used to be the place that you needed to go to get relevance in hip hop. Radio
is irrelevant.
I think he resents me for that. He said I was paid by powerful people to make 6ix9ine happen. Little boy, stop playing with me. I was making $150,000 every month. If you think I need 6ix9ine to get a house, you're not good at math. If you think I need Complex to get a house, you're not good at math. You work at Hot 97, you're not pulling no $500,000 a year. That was 3 months of pay for me. Don't try to ever diminish my work. You don't own nothing you're on. There's nothing wrong with that. But the money looks a little different when you do own it.
Although Peter and Ebro are perfectly within their right.
Oh, goddamn. Ack is really, coming out the old heads like, hey, goddamn.
Rights to have their issues with Ack's style, you can't dispute the fact that, whether you like it or not, Ack has formulated his own success. And in some ways, his argument that he's more relevant than them to most hip-hop consumers and artists holds weight. So, we finish up our breakdown.
Wait, what? Really? What? How did you win that?
And with a final score of 6-4 in favor of the unlikely victor. No matter what anyone has to say about Ack, one truth emerges across his entire back catalog of beef. Whether or not you feel that he won on every occasion or suffered heavy L's, Akademiks is still standing. Barring the incident in which he was suspended from Complex after making misogynist comments about Chrissy Teigen, there have been little to no repercussions for Ack. Instead, with every new beef that arises, both his bank balance and name value only expands. So, between his volatile personality and the industry that he's in, Ack is simply one of those people who's bound to ruffle feathers in one way.
Shout out to Erica, baby. Shout out to Erica.
Way or another. And with that, we leave you with the immortal words of Erykah Badu.
You look very familiar.
Very familiar?
Yeah.
Do you have YouTube?
Have we met before?
I don't think so. No, I would definitely know if I met you. Like you were.
We would remember.
Yeah, I would definitely remember.
Wait, have you met some incarnation of him?
Maybe.
I don't know. I'm gonna think about it throughout the name Thomas. Thomas keeps coming to me. Damn, you look familiar.
In a good way or a bad way?
I really hope we figure out this.
It's something nostalgic, like my childhood or something.
Oh, like coming from a different life.
It's like
Thomas
my
character.
stomach inside is like tickling so much and turning over. You know, like a tickling feeling.
Oh wow,
This got to be good.
He does look ticklish.
Man, Joe, if you don't get out of my vibes,
It actually
we might have to
is.
figure it out off camera. She might have to read my palms. You flirting with the queen?
Listen, I got it.
Got it?
Yes.
Could be divulged
You're
on
not
camera.
gonna believe it. It's so simple.
Oh,
it's
wow.
really simple.
I feel like she's gonna disrespect his ass right now.
You know who you look like? You look like Jerry, the mouse from Tom and Jerry.
Hold up.
I'm dead. I'm dead. Oh wow. Oh fuck, man. Yo, she got him good. Still, she got him good. I can't even lie. She got him good.
I know
That's not where I thought that was going.
This
That's
video
not
is
where I
brought to
thought
you.
that was going. That's not where I thought that was going at all. It's not brought to you by Skillshare. Oh god. But yo, the many beefs of Axe, man. Ack is a guy, dog. Ack is the guy for real, though. I can't even lie. Ack is the guy. And like, there's no disrespect, slander to Ack. He is the guy. He is the guy. He is the guy, dog. Don't get it twisted. This guy is just hilarious. He's hilarious. He put the culture on the back right now, man. He's an inspiration for real. He's an inspiration. And those beefs are hilarious to me. I just love the controversy. I just love that shit, man. Woo! Been talking to myself for like, oh, not talking to myself for 2.5 hours, but I was talking. People's out here. Woo! Okay.